You want an investment edge, but all you hear is noise, hype, and half-truths. Every signal is solid information, but only if you can see the bigger picture. This is where the Quasar magic happens. Weather, charts, news, all financial signals funneled into a single dashboard. Data alone isn't enough. Quasar Markets turns it into energy, sharp, clear, precise. Optimize with Quasar Markets today. Your edge when investing.
Good morning, traders. Welcome to Quasar Markets Live. I am here with the man himself, BigBeat. How are you doing today, my friend?
I'm good. I ended up in North Carolina over the weekend watching Duke versus Illinois and hanging out with some friends that I haven't seen in a while and my own godkids. Look, a couple things I noticed over the weekend, right? People are not happy. People are not settled. And it was, good morning, Ron. And, you know, one of the things that I noticed was that in the airport Sunday, football was on. And I didn't see a lot of people actually watching football. Sports might be a thing of the past. It might just be a let's bet on the sport and be done with it. I didn't really find people excited about it anymore. That is very interesting in a sports state like North Carolina, who has lots of colleges and the Carolina Panthers. And so I was a little bit taken aback by that. Maybe I'm wrong, but because I think sports betting is very high right now. But I also feel like maybe that people just aren't watching it as much. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I saw bars were packed. Everything that I saw from folks was that it was busy. Talking to friends in DC, they were definitely busy. So that's good things. But but I also would point out it was North Carolina, I think, is similar to Ohio, and that's farming communities. It was festival weekend this weekend. Okay. So my wife did the Greek festival, the Italian festival, the popcorn festival. That's not a joke. All day. So it also is, they're getting into it. You know what I mean? And you went to Duke, where football matters about as much as, nothing. Let's be honest, they're a basketball school. I went to DePaul University, so there's no bigger, where that works the same way. So I think that could be part of it too, right? Yep. And the Panthers were your team. You might already be done with football also. Not to pick on North Carolina at all.
But my teams all won. Illinois won. And
but your Commanders didn't look as good as I thought they would. I was a little disappointed with what I actually saw personally. I don't know about you.
Agreed. No, but I thought that Jaden Daniels and I also thought the time management at the end of the first quarter was pretty poor. So, look, while we like sports here, and we'll talk about sports here too as well, and we'll do that soon. But I think it's all about whether or not people are happy, and where are we with the investments. And I'm going to tell you, when I have been asking the question over the last 3 months, all this money that's coming out, all these dollars that are getting pulled out, where are they going? Well, okay, so some money got pulled out of crypto, got moved around. Okay, some money has been moved out of the bond market, quite a bit actually. They moved out of the bond market. Where is it going? We know exactly where it's going. It's going into gold around the world. Foreign countries are
money markets too. We're hearing the money markets are people are big time going in there also.
Yep, and right now, we're hearing from Scott Bessent now that if money comes out, if these lawsuits against the tariffs continue, that we're going to have a massive refund, meaning that the money's already been spent, that all this tariff money. So there's no tariff refund to the U.S. people. It's all gone, right? So we could have a double whammy here, and I think that's why you're seeing the 10-year dropping to 4.068. I think you're going to start to see money people getting scared, right? And when scared money goes into the bond market, and that's where it should go, but even more scared money goes into metals. So that's why I'm a little concerned here. 41.30 now. Once again, we're very, very close to my 43 handle that I said we would get to with silver. We're only $1.75 away. That's crazy for me this fast. Good. Bitcoin's pushing up a bit, 112.3 now. But, Howard,
I have to say, Steve, is that money isn't as much on the sidelines. We're less than 1% off record highs for the S&P and NASDAQ. I mean,
but remember, But remember, people are also getting paid and they're also investing too. So for me, where is all of this serious cash going to? And I would like to see a better, clear picture of that. Not for now, but for the future. I'm not betting on now, right? When I invest, I'm investing in the future. And in a stock market coming into, we're now not even, well, just barely in September, but October, November, is this a good time to put money in the stock market? And we're at, as you just said, 1% off a new all-time highs. I don't think. I think this is a very bad.
I'm with you. I just wanted to point out that it's still, money is still in the market for sure.
Oh yeah.
I don't
want to be in the market. I want to be
is, it's more, as you've mentioned, institutional money. Where are they parking it? That's the difference right now for sure. And we know, again, you've been pointing out leverage ratios across all exchanges and things like that. So money is in the market for retail. They're not. I think that's maybe why they are so worried.
It's right. The levered up part
honestly should be.
The markets are more levered up than in history, right? We have allowed more margin now in history, and that's where and margin is the first liquidity that gets eaten up, right? So, that's why I just can't. Wow.
Yeah, no. But with that being said, Dow futures looking to open up about 80 points, S&P up 16, NASDAQ up 90. VIX holding pretty steady around 15.43 here. We got PPI data on Wednesday, CPI data Thursday, looking for a consensus of about plus 0.3% on the core CPI month over month. A soft print would seal a bigger Fed cut, don't you think?
To 50?
Yeah.
That's big talk. I don't want to see 50. I want to see easy, flat, 25, 25, 25, 25. 50 would make me nervous. 50 would be acknowledging that there's an issue here. It would also acknowledge that the Fed was wrong, and I don't think the Fed wants to acknowledge that they're wrong. The Fed already has enough problems, right? They've got 2 members of the Fed that are under investigation. We've got one that's now resigned. The president's got now 2 or 3 picks now. It's going to be, there's a lot going on in the Fed. And the Fed coming out and saying, okay, 50 basis points would be political, I think. That it would all, right now, I think it's a 10% chance that there's a 50 basis point.
1 in 3 chance. 1 in 3 chance.
1 in 3 chance now. Wow. Oh my. That's high. That's bad.
That's what I mean. 92% chance of 25 basis point cut on September 17th, with a 1 in 3 chance of a 50 basis point.
Most aggressive narrative
we've seen since early summer.
Yeah, that fits the narrative that the world's not as good as it is, and I think that's what's happening. I don't think that's the case. 25 basis points. They're probably floating what they call a balloon. They're floating the balloon. See if 50 basis points will work. I don't think so. If you're cutting that much, the market's going to crash, literally crash, because that means that they're making mistakes and that there's an issue here that they got to correct. Nobody wants to see that. I know the president wants to see 150 basis points minimum. That's just a lot right now to start off with. That's just a lot to me. Woof.
Would say Fed Watch also is closer to 3 cuts now.
Yeah.
Baked in than the 2. It was about 2.5 on Friday, so it has moved a little bit there. Steve, staying on the macro side of it, you mentioned it, man. Gold, right? Friday's spike took us above 3,600, an all-time high. Gold up 36% year to date, and 10 of the past 13 sessions have been green. We know Fed cut bets, are definitely helping. Real yields are capped. And safe haven flows are definitely what we're seeing, again.
Yeah, it's all about international too, right? You're seeing countries buying gold and putting it away. The United States still has the most gold in the world. Russia's being second. And Russians are like, okay, fine, we'll just buy what everybody else is buying. If I can't buy dollars, great. If I can't buy oil the way we normally do through dollars, I'll just buy gold. And that's what they're doing, right? And there could be some hedging against that too, right? Meaning that they're using their gold against. Now we're seeing, to talk about oil in just 1 second.
What's coming next?
Okay, good. Yeah, it makes sense, right? 62.86 WTI, right? Because now we're seeing where we need to boost. Yep, okay, you got it. Right. OPEC's boosting their oil production a lot, not a little bit.
Yeah,
they're saying a lot.
1.92 million barrels a day for April to August.
That's a lot. That's a lot. That's not normal. And they're going to do it again, right? So that's a lot because they're having to catch up with whatever oil that Russia cannot pump.
We'll mention crypto, Ethereum breaking out here, 43.60 here. Just it's hitting liquidation zones. Got room to run here. Ethereum 43.54.
Yeah, I mean, it's been, we know that. No, you're right. I mean, look, we're talking about this from perspective of where the money's going to, right? We need to know where the flow is going to. And you know what? This is the future. Ethereum is the future, right? I mean, that's what we're talking about. Oil is not the future. 62.90 is not the future. Oh, well, it's because OPEC's, they're running out of oil, folks. Oh no, Saudi Arabia's, yes, they are. Look it up. The Gawar is literally running out of oil. That's why Saudi Arabia is building a wealth fund, right?
Absolutely.
Right? So there's a lot of things going on. I'm looking at the future when I'm investing. Yeah, we're traders too, right? We're trading for the day, but it's all about investing, and I need to know where it's got. And oil is not the future. I know that we're not. I know we're getting rid of windmills and everything else, and solar power is hurting a little bit, but that's the future. Nuclear is the future, right?
Be solar and nuclear. Let's face it. You're right. It might be hitting a hiccup here, but that's where the future is. Staying on the global front, we got two countries to talk about. Japan, Prime Minister Ishiba there resigned this week. Nikkei rallied 1.45% on it. The yen just weakened to 147.8 per dollar. What do you think we see here? What's going on in Japan? I know you're headed there soon.
You know, Ishiba was making some very massive mistakes over there, and I think people were not happy, and he was digging his heels in. It's unlike the United States, right, where Japan you have to form a government, kind of like the UK does. You know, there's a lot of people that are going to replace Ishiba. Right now, you've got Motegi, you've got Hayashi, Kozuma, Takaishi. All of these people are very, very strong when it comes to the economics of Japan. They are very strong in reform, and they're very popular. So Ishiba was not popular. He was just the oldest guy, and he was the next in line. That's how it kind of was. And Ueda being over at the central bank, they were all friends. So, you know, the problem that we've had with the United States with them is this trading partnership that we've had to put tariffs on. Every single one of those people that is up for possibly replacing Ishida are tough negotiators. And they will not just say, okay, United States, we'll back down and we'll take it. They won't. And that's why you saw their economy pop up, their stock market pop up. So I think we're going to be living in very interesting times when it comes to the United States and Japan. And as everybody here knows, I'm a big fan of Japan. I love their country a lot. So, right. I think, yeah.
Awesome. Well, and then you got France. Today, the Prime Minister likely to lose today's confidence vote over a $44 billion budget cut package. The euro has been pretty stable at 1.17. We'll have Mr. Flanagan in later to talk about that. You know, what do we got going on in France there, Steve?
Okay. As everybody here knows, if you don't know, I'm a huge fan of France too. I love their museums. I love the history of France. I love Paris. I love nothing more than hanging out in the Champs-Élysées or going down to, you know, the Arc de Triomphe and, you know, having a glass of wine over at Charles V. But the problem is it's still France. France has issues, and they are not happy when you make cuts. You make cuts in the United States, people get over it. It's but not in France. Their country is very, very strong, and they are a very socialistic country. So they do rely a lot of times on those social. In this case, I believe that they were cutting some of the bigger social personal things that were happening, and that to them is not good. I do expect probably within the week to 2 weeks or 3 weeks, not a whole month, that they'll be striking. And the French people just strike at the drop of a hat, right? And
Right.
I like that. So, and expect problems to happen in Paris. Look, when Notre Dame fell, Notre Dame is over this, the cathedral fell, that the fire, they rallied together. They also rallied together when you hurt them too, as well, from the government side, and they would take it out. They took it out on Sarkozy. They took it out on a lot of former ministers, and so they will be taking it out here. They took it out on Jacques Chirac. They took it out on a lot in the past. François Mitterrand also was hit too as well. So you have a big situation there, and I expect the same thing to happen in France. So, yep. Guess what? That money coming out of France may be going somewhere else, possibly the United States, possibly to Bitcoin, possibly into all the things they've been saying, right? Gold.
Okay, let's start to get into some of the stocks here. We're about 12 minutes from the open there, BigBeat. And big winners on the day, Robinhood up about 8.64 on its inclusion into the S&P, trading at 110, close to its all-time highs. This one, we've been watching it. It got shot down a couple of times here, but I got to say, the thing that I noticed, it held up really well throughout all of that time. In fact, hit all-time highs there. So what are you thinking about Robinhood these days?
I think it took them long enough to get in. It should have happened a long time ago. The Robinhood's very much what's going on in the world, and it should be the S&P 500. I think MSTR getting snubbed again. It's a matter of time for them. I think they'll also get put into the because we know that the S&P loves crypto now. They start to add that to it. It's a app loving. I mean, it's very simple. Apps. But we know that apps are dying. But they have moved into all kinds of other things. So I like app loving. They're switching gears, which as I know personally from running companies, that apps are becoming a thing of the past. I don't want to hear that apps are all on my phone. Yeah, right now they are, but the future they're not going to be. And app loving, making those changes, how we deal with Web3, that to me is very smart. That's the future. S&P wants the future. Robinhood is also the future because you'll be able to game and everything else in Robinhood. I agree with this. So. But as fast as you get into S&P, you can also be kicked out of the S&P 500. So,
and I'll also point out the ones that got in at the end of the last rebalancing, they're actually all three of them, I believe, are down.
Correct.
So since getting in, which is not normally what happens, though. Not normal. Steve, staying in the future, SATS EchoStar up 19.56 this morning. Again, they're offloading some of their satellite contracts.
Yeah, I mean, EchoStar, what is it that who wants all of EchoStar Spectrum, right? I mean, anything that he's been asking for, Elon wants, he pretty much gets, right? So, and then of course, EchoStar can just start unloading those contracts. So, I'm staying away from that. It's too volatile for me. I love the trading aspect of it, but we don't know what's going to happen right now every other second. Yeah.
And I'll point out, I'll go to the opposite side of that because there was no real news on it, quite honestly, is that ASTS, Space Mobile, down 12.8% today. So that definitely echoes what you are saying here. It is funny, the tale of, two stories there. A lot of the other ones that are leading today are Chinese names again. HSAI up 7.59%. Baidu up 6.47% here today also.
I will say that I am looking at maybe shorting Hood here on this run.
Okay.
Quick pop here this morning. There'll be a lot of people trying to take some money off because they did it. That they had been betting heavily and levering up to buy Hood based on the fact that they may see this S&P run. And I think maybe you could take some profit here. This 9% run. If it was a little higher, I'd be for sure. I kind of wanted to see the first opening here, but most definitely here. I think we could see like a little bit of a pullback here.
App Lovin is the one that's up a little bit more. If you're looking at it from that angle, they're up 9.59%.
Yeah.
They're further into the unknown, where they also are at 52-week highs. Where you got $7 more to the upside on Hood, where I think you could see the pump, and I think the 117 could be the great sell point.
It's tough with the stock being at 537, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It gets a lot more expensive to play around with it too. Yeah. For sure. Without a doubt. Yeah. Like I said, Ron, Apple will open at a 52-week high. Ford's up 100% in the pre-market.
Yeah. Aren't they going into like, that's Forward Industries, right?
Oh, geez, Ron, don't scare me. I'm like, that's like one of my biggest long-term holdings is Ford Motors. I just almost quit, Steve. I was gone.
Look, Forward Industries, again.
Yeah, this is the cryptos thing with Galaxy. Yeah, again, I'm in the middle of doing today in my crypto. Ron, you're a member of my crypto room. So at 10:30, we are doing a host session on Bitcoin treasury companies today. How are they raising money? Why that matters, and everything else. So keep that in mind. There's a huge difference in all these Bitcoin treasury companies. Michael Saylor was on today, CNBC, explaining how theirs, in his view, why his is the best preferred stock, because basically there's never any redemptions. His is, as he said, a perpetual future almost, which I gotta say it is what he's doing. So Ron, come on in and we'll let you know everything going on there. Steve, Oracle also up 3.3%. I gotta say, this is the one that always just sneaks back up. It sort of fades off and then it just grinds up. It grinds up. Larry Ellison may not be as sexy as Elon and some of these other guys, but you can't argue with a company that's worth, $653 billion.
Nope, can't at all. No, not at all. But you can't argue that they're not a $1 trillion company, right? They're not an Apple and Nvidia or whatever. So, yeah, I get it. And Larry Ellison,
is it a more sustainable path to the up for them, because they do it more in a timely manner? They don't necessarily have the tech hype that gets them pumping, but they also don't get that drawdown that comes after it.
Right. They've switched gears a little bit, right, with cloud computing. What has Larry Ellison said about cloud computing was the dumbest thing you'd ever heard of. And today they're now one of the biggest. So, look, I'm proud of them for changing course, but the truth of the matter is, they're not a $1 trillion company yet. And Oracle back in the day used to be one of the biggest companies in the world, and today it's not even anywhere near. So, I don't know. Yeah, I'll stay on the sidelines with Oracle until Larry Ellison. We'll see I need to see what he has to say in the next few months.
Absolutely. AT&T down about 4% here, Steve. So the other end of the EchoStar sale, because that's who's buying it, is AT&T, down about 4 cents. You buying the dip on this? You like the move from the sense of EchoStar? Do you like it from?
I like AT&T if you're buying it for dividends. I don't like it if you're looking to just trade it. If you're looking for long term and you want, look, people are still going to own AT&T. They own the wireless side of it. And here's the thing about AT&T. You can't just go buy an iPhone or a Samsung phone. You got to go through a wireless carrier, right, in the United States. So it's either AT&T or Verizon or T-Mobile, and AT&T is the biggest one. It's the Mac Daddy, as we always say, and so that's what you're going to have to do. Verizon being the other one. No, I don't think I'm buying it for any other. If you're trading it, no. If you're buying it for longer term and you like to pick up some stock for dividends, yes. But you can also buy it for the future, next few months, because obviously iPhones are coming out, right? Samsungs, all these things are coming out, so there could be a pop in it because if the iPhone, I want to watch the Apple release on tomorrow. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, with that being said, Steve, I just trapped you, and I didn't mean to just trap you. Here we go, because T-Mobile down 5%, which, by the way, is larger than AT&T nowadays. Yeah. Remember, you got to remember that Sprint merger. So, are you Are you a buyer maybe of them, or the other you mentioned, Verizon at -3%? Are there any of the carrier mobiles, like you just said, Apple? A lot of people, you and I were talking about it, are ready to have held off because Apple didn't do anything great in the last phone upgrade.
Right.
Will Apple have huge sales, and wouldn't they be the beneficiary of that?
As I just said 2 minutes ago, I'm gonna need to wait to see what they're releasing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Good morning, Marilyn. Hope you're having a good start to your day. Solar getting hit here this morning. Enphase down. There were others were down. Seeing a little bit of a cross. SBET, the Ethereum company, was down tremendously. Now up 1.77%. It was actually one of the laggards. So now we're getting a little bit of a run here. 15.25 to the upside, up about 2.11. From there, our friend Michael Saylor over at MicroStrategy was on CNBC this morning. The reason he was on is they announced their latest purchase of crypto. Steve, did you see that they bought another 1,955 Bitcoin for $217 million last week?
Well, I guess I could talk about it here on the air. There's a good chance I'll be seeing Michael Saylor very soon down in Miami area where he lives. A friend of mine actually is friends with him. So
he tells the IRS he lives in Silver Spring, Maryland, please.
Yes, he doesn't. Yeah. So yeah, I'm very excited to pick his brain a bit. So we'll probably have him on the show here. No, I don't think so. Look, he has one job and one job only, and that's raise money and buy Bitcoin. That's it. That's all he does. And I don't blame him for it. It's what he wanted to do. He turned the company completely around, and look at it now. So that's what I think is going to happen. And I think he's the next one to join the S&P 500. By the way, if that's what you're looking to do. You've already seen some of the companies. Oh, why wasn't Hood in? Why wasn't Hood in this time? Why wasn't happening? You know what? There's a process.
Only add so many each time. They don't rebalance. It either takes someone falling out or one of the others. Their total now are 6.
Sorry, we're about 1 minute away. I am going to short Hood on this open here.
Okay, I'll pull it up there for you then.
I'm going to let it open first. I'm not going to play it early because I'm not sure how this thing's going to play out. I'm going to wait until the cash market. We are about to open here. We are now open.
Here we go. Advanced decline is going to open up.
And now I have submitted.
Put in 111, 112, 112.40.
Yeah.
Keeps on moving. Looks like it could wear off here. 112 was the pop.
Short now. Like I said, I wanted to make sure I see the pop first, and then I'm now short.
See what happens here. Tick is slightly up. Advanced decline 2152. Dow Jones opens down slightly, about 10 basis points. SPY is up 17 basis points. In the Qs so far, the leader up 40 basis points here.
Okay, I'm short for 112.31, and I am probably
it's holding up pretty well here.
Yeah, I mean it's nice here. I'm gonna
Mag 7. Tesla, the big winner. Tesla up about 1.9% here this morning. Nice little move to the upside. Everything's still based about Elon being the first.
And I took the money it ran. Nice dollar move there, and look at that drop there. That's what I mean when I say let the cash market do its thing. After look at that drop now in Hood, profit taking is happening. So that's kind of what I was expecting this morning, and it was a nice little move there. I like that.
Nice.
Oh wow! Ooh, that's a very good move. Oh my! All right.
And we are seeing the same reaction here across. AppLovin also up about 9.55. Has gotten hit even a little bit harder here. Hood now up 9.3. Trying to close the gap. Hood moving back to the.
Let's fall even further.
Same with SATS. $81 one now down up 21% after being at 108. This one's down almost $20, Steve.
Yeah. Wow. We could see Hood even further here. We are watching spot gold here, 36.21, slipping after that little pop as well.
Crypto pulled back down a little bit here, trying to move back to the upside. Bitcoin 112,238. It needs to break 113 and hold. Can't do it yet. That's the big level to watch for here. AVGO, as Ron pointed out, moving up to the nice upside nicely, 3.31% here today.
Tesla up 1.38%. It's really heavily bouncing here.
It was up a lot more, actually.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I am keeping my eye also on Kenview as well. That was also hit by RFK over the weekend. I thought that was a little bit too much. I did play it while I was gone on Friday, but picked up some cash there. But you know, I wouldn't go against unfortunately the CDC director and HHS and all of that. So it's a big fight in front of them, whether they're right or wrong. It doesn't matter. It's going to cost them when it comes to lawyers, obviously. Bitcoin 112 too is just really struggling there.
Yep. Needed to break 113 and hold.
Good, 111, almost 112 there. So can we see another pop to the upside and we do it again? If they can't hold the second time, that's an even bigger sell-off.
Yeah, I think it's got upside in it now.
112.65, 112.68, 112.74. And
struggling at 112.75. That's the key spot for it. Oh, there it goes over it.
And
yeah, the thing that's tough is, like I said,
I am going to short it here once again.
There you go. Here comes Steve.
And 112. So we got to figure out what we're doing here. Not yet. Let it do its thing. And submitting my order now. 112.69 is where I'm in. And let's see if I can just get some money out of this puppy. Cover 5. Let's see. Could be wrong on this side. I don't think so. I think they'll see some selling here.
113 is going to be your key spot.
Yeah, I think so. Let's see if they
rejected on first attempt up there. There you go.
Here we go. Here we go.
It's a battle right here.
It's a big battle.
Yeah.
There's your 113. And there's the sell-off. And we'll get one more little sell-off here, and maybe not. It's a fight here, though. I will say that much.
It is.
Yeah, there we go. And the drop, and give me that drop again. You don't want to get too greedy now. That's one of the key things that I do make mistakes at. I do get greedy sometimes, and I think I got greedy.
Well, there's a little jump back. Oh, 130.
I don't want to get too greedy here. Let it do its thing.
Steve, I'm going to help you out because I am selling.
113.03 popped up there, so it could push on up.
Hold a little. I'm going to keep my 115. Steve, I'll tell you at 115, I'll be joining the sellers.
I will be selling more here. I'm going to sell another.
113.40, Steve. I'd be careful of 115 now.
All right, I'm going to short a little bit more here. I did. And cover. Yeah, there we go, baby. Let's go. Yeah, just get below the 113 again, and then I'm okay.
There you go, under it. Ooh, 113 is the battle right now.
I mean, up 12%, a little.
200 here. Advanced declines dropped all the way back down to 700, so we're seeing profit taken. It's going to hit it. It's just a matter of when it hits it.
Oil just dropped.
You know what I mean?
59. Look at that oil dropping there.
Bitcoin picking back up a little bit, 112,300 here. 43.42 on Ethereum. Solana was breaking out a little bit earlier. What's it doing right now? 214.
Solana's a big winner, I think. Yeah. There we go. Come on, baby.
I need. There you go, back below 113. That should help. AppLovin back to the upside too. These two are battling out, and now SATS moving back up slightly, though still up 20% on the day. Had been as high as 108 and change in the pre-market hours. Now at 83 here. Put back below 113 for you, Steve. Here you go.
And I just nailed it again on Hood. Yeah. Oof, what a day, what a day, what a day. All right. I will take, and I'll do what I normally do, Howard, is I will take Hood off of my screen and be happy.
There you go.
There we go, yeah. It might drop here, considering that, yeah, it looks like it might. Thanks, bro. That's why I take it off my screen. Yeah, right. Okay, I didn't take it off my screen. I gotta do it now. All right, it's off my screen. Oh, Bitcoin dropping here, 112.1 here. Looks like the Qs are toppy a little bit here, but it's had a nice run this morning. Obviously, gold 36.24 still running here. 41.33 now in silver. Octo, yeah, you're right. Oh, wait, Ron, is that right? I don't think that's right.
Yeah, that's 8 company holdings. Sounds to me like another one that's probably.
Yeah, they had a private placement there. That's
good. Bitmine. They got an investment from Bitmine, Tom Lee's company.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah. I like.
Oh, no, this is a company. Yeah, no, I'm anti this company. This company is going to be a WorldCoin treasury company.
Ooh, yeah.
Altman's company. Yep, I have this for my group later on. Yeah. Yeah, this is the companies that don't need to be in existence. We don't need a WorldCoin treasury company.
Sure you don't want a WorldCoin?
I don't have a problem with WorldCoin as a token. We don't need a WorldCoin treasury company. I'm sorry.
Yeah. You don't want one company running the world.
And if you want to see what sometimes happens to those, look at Alt S, which is the one that Alt 5 Sigma, which is the company that is doing the World Liberty token. And you can see their performance over the last, since announcing that, hitting $11, now back at $4.34. This is the hedge fund company doing an ETF based on World Liberty. So some of these, just don't FOMO into them. Just don't.
Yeah.
I will guarantee you this will be a $6 company in no time. Especially since WorldCoin is one of the most. Yeah, it's your boy Dan Ives. I meant to say that to you, Steve.
Yeah,
he's doing it. Yeah.
I mean, I like Dan. I like Dan personally. He's a good guy. I mean, if you know him, and you
cash grab for them, those companies are making a ton of money. Again, that you start an it's the inverse Kramer with our friend Sean Tuttle and all those guys, or Matthew Tuttle rather. You make money on AUM. So if it's hot and people will do it, have an ETF, have at it. What I'm just saying is you don't want to own the ETF. Why? Just buy, if you feel that way, buy WorldCoin. Especially since it's one that's stakeable and all those other things. Yeah.
10-year now dropping to 4.05.
Bitcoin is struggling here to hold up. Same thing. Ethereum back down at 43.30 here. So we're seeing some sell-offs across the board.
Morgan Stanley just raised Oracle's price to 246 from 175.
There you go. See?
Yeah. There's this. Yeah, I'm gonna. CoreWeave up another 4% today. For those of you who were buying CoreWeave back with me when that big old sell off, that was, yeah, that was pretty, I thought to me was a little bit much. The sell-off was now it's coming back. I thought we would get back to somewhere in the 90 handle. We're already at 92.57 as of this morning. So those of you who are interested in core weave, there it is. Probably going to get back to 96 to 100 somewhere there.
Q's still ticking up here, trying to break back above 580 at 579.31, up 57 basis points. The SPY is up about 20 basis points here, right in the middle of its cash sale. Dow Jones has gone down now, down about 15 basis points on the day. And again, if we look at the Mag 7, most of them in the green, being led by NVIDIA and Meta today. Tesla actually a little bit of a sell-off after that big move to the upside. So, and
I mean, it's got to cost Tesla to buy these things, right? I mean, you got to spend money to buy I mean, wow, if you pull up a 1 hour chart on Tesla and pull up linear regression, I mean, that thing's telling you exactly what to do. Oof. Look at that thing.
Pretty well, absolutely.
Oil still falling here to 62.49 now.
Tick still negative. Advanced decline at 210. We're looking to go neutral there. Q's holding up, SPY's holding up, but the Dow Jones not. VIX is at 1524 here. Gold holding above 36 nicely at 36.30. Silver at 41.30. Both of those are up almost a percentage point today. Bitcoin at 112,250 here, and Ethereum at 23.35, sort of going sideways, still in their consolidation mode. And as Steve mentioned, oil moving up, but off of lows this weekend of almost $60 a barrel on the WTI, now up 1.2% on.
Here's one for you, Howard. What if I told you back in August the 8th, 1st, let's go back to the 1st, August the 1st, that a stock was 240, today's at 318. 318.5. That's UNH,
which I own.
Yeah, I mean,
I bought it at that low.
We've talked about that, right? Like, look, they got beat up too much. This is an insurance company that's bringing cash, and a lot of very smart investors, big time investors, bought that. Wow, look at that, 36.31 now on gold here.
They're actually pulling back. They've been up higher today.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like you know, if you held steady and listen, the phone calls that came to me about UNH, what do I do here? What do I do here? What do I do here? And I'm like, listen, it's still UNH, and major institutions will continue to buy it.
Yeah, I'm in for 268, so I'm very happy, and I'll be holding it long term. That's
silver 41.43. We're about to hit a multi-decade high here on silver as well. 41.42 now. Part of me just wishes I might go down to the jewelry store here in a little bit.
Remember, your man Peter Thomas said, "Don't do that yet."
I know. That's what I'm holding. I'm like, it's going. I mean, you heard a lot of people saying, "Hey, we're going to 50." I'm like, yeah. So I'm with it. Well, I'm looking at the numbers here. If you ever out there, retweet, repost, subscribe, like, do all those fun things that you need to do. We really appreciate that. We're really doing very well here. And we got a lot of things in store here at Quasar Market. So we're looking next few.
Robinhood 114.32, getting close to my 115 here.
Yeah, I didn't want to look at it again. Thanks, Howard. I appreciate that. Probably going to start. Look. 115 is where Howard is talking about. He's right. It could very easily, this one could be very shorted once again up here, as it's now broken out. So
yeah, now I'm holding on. Now I'm waiting, because it's not gonna. I don't think it stops at 115 even. I think now you've got short squeeze. Now some of those institutions got to cover, because there were some pretty big bets against Robinhood going into this. In a heavily shorted stock by the toots. They got it wrong this morning. They should have been watching you, Steve, and not traded it the way you did.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you though. 114.82. I'm not liking this here. I'm going to short it one more time. 114.83. I'm now short. Yeah, I like this sell short here, 114. Yeah, I did. And I'll probably take some cash. I'll do it again here. Yeah. Oh yeah, look at that. Yeah. And I'm taking it off again. Thank you, Howard. Thanks for catching that for me. I appreciate that one. That was good.
There you go.
Yeah. Thank you. Because he's right. 115 is the high here, and that's where the break point is. And a lot of retailers were playing the zero deets here. So I might have taken that short off a little too fast, but I did like that move here. So now I need to sit back and just smile a little bit. I can't keep doing this. This is too easy there.
Oh, to go right back up. It's right back at it.
That's what I'm saying. Like this is an easy short when you see him up there, but it's a tick now up 400 here, up 445 here.
Coming back in.
Yeah.
Tick's gone back. I mean, advanced decline now back positive. It had gone neutral on the day. Tick up 468. That money is moving into the SPY here and the Qs.
Man, I could almost do it again.
Mag 7. NVIDIA now trying to get back above 170 there. Here you go, Steve. You got another chance. That 114.95. Here it goes.
I just don't I don't up 13.5% on just because they're now in the S&P 500 does not make sense here. This is chasing. Many companies.
If you're going long here, you are.
There's no upside to this, right? At this point, so yeah.
Well,
there could be upside.
They have their big announcement tomorrow, I believe. Robinhood does its U.S. announcement, if I'm not mistaken, tomorrow. And again, when they did the European one, it shot up like 10% that day. That's the other thing.
Spot gold now 36.33. Now it is at an all-time high. 115 just got hit on Hood. 41.42.5 there now on silver. That these while that's not all-time high on silver, it is 36.34 now on gold. That is definitely an all-time high there.
Yeah.
Woo.
Gold just keeps on the gift that keeps on giving.
And tick now only up down 180 now.
Yeah, they do. Tomorrow is the Hood Summit, so it should be interesting because they usually, sell the news type of thing. You could really see that tomorrow. Keep that in mind. 5:30 p.m. Pacific time. So what's that, about 8:30? 1:15:09, 1:15:21.
22, yeah.
Like I said, I'm holding now. It's great. It's got too much juice. It's on a breakout run today.
Oh, man, I missed that. I want to sell there. Oh, dang.
Steve, it's going to do it again. It's got a chance for you here. Maybe. 88.
I don't know. I think I just missed it. I think I had. Did I miss it? $114.97. See, it's struggling up here. That's what I like about when it's
115 is a tough spot for it. It could get rejected here. Although there it goes back above it, pretty 115.09, 115.15. So it's starting to eat that wall above 115. I'd be careful.
115.35.
Yeah, I'd be careful. Now it's going to overextend itself again for you, Steve. Steve, stop watching it.
130. Yeah.
115.30 now it's challenging. 115.45.
I can't.
How many times you watch, Steve, the same show where two people bet on the opposite side of the same trade and both winning?
I couldn't pull the trigger at 113, 115.40. Now it's at 115.
115.20.
Well, the Qs are pushing, which is what bothers me a little bit. So the Qs are still pushing up, and it should help. So it is helping, and the S&P is obviously pushing. So You know, those two things. Oh, and it's on CNBC as a picture. So
don't do that. Ron, yeah, we started off the show talking about EchoStar's agreement and how it has them had them moving up tremendously this morning. On the other side of it, the buyers, AT&T, that stock is moving down. So yeah, we've been all over that one already there, man.
I am
19.13. It also, as we pointed out, shot as high as 110 earlier and now only trading at 80. So you want to talk about a pullback. That trade's played out. Don't FOMO into that one.
Yeah, and I think yeah, I'm almost going to turn off the hood.
$115.33 highs of the day.
I don't see it, Howard. What are you talking about?
Just trying to give you a hard time and tempt you in.
I'm used to it. I'm okay with it. You know what I'm going to do with that money that I just made? I'm going to move it over.
There you go. At 112, you can buy some Bitcoin right here on discount. Tick's gone back negative minus 219, advanced decline minus 162. So again, starting to see a sell-off on some of these here. SPY is down, only up 17 basis points here, down at about 648.33 after breaking 649 earlier. Qs are towards the highs of the day, so Mag 7 leading the way.
Look at oil, 62.07 now barrel there. Look at that puppy just getting sold off.
NVIDIA pumping here, 170.69 on the upside, up 2.2% here. Nice move up by NVIDIA, leading the market here. Meta also at 762.78, up about 1.37% so far today. Take an advanced decline, keep bubbling up and selling off. So there seems like a lot of algo selling still going on, even though we are, at 955 here today.
Yeah.
So a little different than what we've seen recently.
And you're seeing Q still pushing here, Howard. A tick's now up 200. So, I mean, it's
it's a Mag 7. It's NVIDIA up 2.27%. In the Mag 7, you got 3 of them up over a percentage point. Microsoft threatened to go up a full percentage point here. Amazon up 86 basis points. So big. People are buying the dips there on them for sure.
$115.67 there on Hood. Although Hood's starting to sweat up here a little bit. Spot gold coming down a little bit, 36.29 now up after popping the 36 almost. Good Lord. I think some profit taking's coming into the 10 o'clock hour here now, Howard.
Yeah, we should expect to see that for sure. Bitcoin back below 112, so struggling here. Steve, 30-year dropping a 4.72. Am I going to get a chance to use my free refi here in the next 18 months or so?
I think it's a personal question. Maybe there's a good chance. Maybe if the bond market collapses here, which I'm starting to feel like that's what's happening.
You might get a chance. The wife would be happy with that. Tick negative here. 130 advanced decline's gone back to negative.
Look at Hood. There it was. There's under 115. Yeah. And now in the 1 minute chart on Hood, it's really looking negative here. But
I'm to watch it, Steve.
I know.
I took it off for you so I wouldn't give you a hard time.
But I took that money, ran, and put it away, so I like that.
There you go. Nothing wrong with that at all.
$114.86 now, 82 on Hood. Yeah.
Yeah, that 115 was the spot.
Yeah. It was they were chasing up there 115. It's at 115.
Yeah, it got a little push above it and it came right back down below it. That was the low. It could definitely push up from here, but that's where they're fighting. As I said, I'll watch it here today now. It's keeping me enough interested. And with tomorrow having their news announcement, I'll tell you, it's a tough one because the circle you see here is their last announcement there, and
they're up 3% here. PLTR up 3%. 41.42 again on silver. We're seeing another run here on gold and silver.
AVGO up 4.34% right now.
157.67 now. Get back. I gotta get back to Hood here.
114.50 here, Steve.
Yeah,
14% now. Whoa, 115.60. Like I said, I'm holding tight.
Man, maybe let's do this again. Part of me just wants to do this again here. Ugh. My fingers are fast.
Planet Labs are up 29% here this morning, up 842. Here's one you could short too, Steve. You like that?
$115.
As you mentioned, Palantir up 3%.
And I am 115.66. I am now short on gotta go again. Look at this.
It's gonna try.
One little drop.
Mr. Flanagan in while we are watching that, Steve. How are we doing today, Mr. Flanagan?
Good morning, guys. Fresh back from New York and back to Florida.
Muzzle tough on the son's wedding there.
Thank you very much. A beautiful event. Lost my voice, but
I noticed that.
Yeah. There you go. So what are we watching here on the DXY, Steve? It got right down to your key point and still below it.
That's right. Yeah, I'm a little concerned here. The more recent week to 2 week chart pattern is breaking down. Still, I'm using Jackson Hole that Friday, highs and lows. So we're below that Jackson Hole low of 97.56. Right now, we're around 97.52. So the ultimate chart pattern is the last low was around 97.11. I don't like the dollar here because it's threatening. And as I said on our last show on Wednesday last week, this dollar starts to break and all things are going to start spinning out.
Right.
I think you're seeing the tension in the market right now, looking at gold, silver, Bitcoin, equities. Everybody wants to be in the U.S. equity market. But the backdrop to this dollar now, you've got a no confidence vote in France, I believe, later today. And you have a Japanese prime minister stepping aside. So there's an awful lot of things going on in the world that equally could be quite concerning to everybody. Right now, Fed shifted, and we're now looking at on the payrolls data, the employment situation, but yet we have a inflation number coming out, which could put the Fed in a real bind here.
Yep.
If we begin to see an uptick there. But my view, inflation's here. It's not going away. 2.5%, 3.5%. Get ready, and that's going to be the state of the future, which is why metals are going, which is why crypto's going up.
But we've heard this morning, Howard was talking about it too. There's a good chance, there's even possible chance of a 50 basis point cut here. I don't think that's the case. Do you?
No, I don't. And I think that's why the dollar's under a lot of pressure, as there's a growing market percentage that's running with a 50%. Look, Steve, you nailed 50%. You said it right. If they cut 0.5%, the Fed's basically going, all right, we're wrong. We give up.
We give up. Yeah. And we don't want to see that, right?
We don't want to see that. No. Right. If they go 50%, then everybody's going to start getting all concerned. Look, the things that move the market underneath, mortgage rates, I believe they're at close to, if not yearly lows again.
Yeah.
I don't have that data in front of me, but I'm sure that they are, they've been cratering. Look at your 10.
Howard had that question to me earlier about, go ahead, Howard, go ahead, ask Flans if you
so I bought a house, a year and a half ago. We still have our free refi coming up. Do you think I'll be able to use that in the next 6 to 10 months?
You need about 1.5% off of your present rate, really, to make it worth your while. I think you're going to see probably, if you're lucky, 4.5% to 5.5% is where
I'll be in there. And again, for me, it's free. So I actually, I'd do it even if it's a percentage, even a basis point below, because there is actually no charge. Because I was one of those people that went through a home builder and have that was the perk that they gave us.
And it's interesting you said that, Howard. The home builders gave you a free one, right?
Yep.
That cost the home builders.
It did. Absolutely. Yeah. That's a question.
Do we start the home builders on this? If the rates go down, do we start shorting home builders?
That's a tough one, because they're going to win, because then people are going to buy their homes and they don't have to give as much of a discount to do it. But that is a great question, one that we might want to research more. In fact, I'm going to put a note here to start maybe doing that. Talk to maybe Jeremy Vreeland and see if the boys at Tuttle Capital.
How many people are going to refi? At the cost of, say, a D.R. Horton or a Toll Brothers.
I got in just before it shot up, so I'm still below 6. A lot of people are in at that above 6 level, 6.5, even almost 7.
Yeah, that is a great stimulus to the economy.
Yeah,
agreed.
And then take your oil market. Oil prices cratering back down at the lows here. Another massive stimulus to the marketplace. So where am I going with all this? Look, you look at the world today and you say, what's going on? The internet boom that everybody says AI, it's overdone and everything. The internet boom opened up all this revolution in the marketplace. But AI is expanding it to all reaches of all business lines, and it's making problem solving immediate. Right now, boom, ask AI, boom, you got your answer, bam, you're right on to your decision.
But it's also hurting jobs too, coming out of college.
Not coming out of college, but we've talked, I think, many times about the trades and how is a college education now. If you're going for a Bachelor of Arts in English literature, you might want to think about that, because electricians, plumbing, HVAC, these are big areas that are a constant growing and can be taken anywhere in the country.
But what about robotics? I mean, we talked about this before, right? I think robotics might be replacing even plumbing and home repairs and little things like that.
Okay, so the question has been asked to me while I was up in New York this weekend. Yeah, but what about all the job losses? And I'm like, okay, AI and all the technology, robotics and things, but let's think about that. You've got DoorDash, you've got all these different jobs that are actually offering employment opportunities to the exact group of people that we're looking for. People that, perhaps are on the lower side of the income level. This is opening up massive fields to them of job opportunities. So, the idea that it may replace work is, I mean, one of the things AI is.
So you just mentioned DoorDash, I guess Uber and Lyft and all that in that case,
Lyft,
right? But what happens about Waymo and Google and Uber that don't even need drivers anymore?
Again, back to my technicals, you still have a group. What I learned in my career when I jumped into automated trading in the early 2000s is that it created an incredible amount of people that had to support that new technology. For example, that's where I made my career as a electronic risk manager. A machinery operated within a sandbox, and I patrolled the perimeters with all sorts of.
So instead of becoming a plumber, become a robotics engineer, fixing robots, fixing things of that nature. Is that what you're saying?
That's what I'm saying, Steve. Yeah, it's going to open up a tremendous. Yeah, there's a training. Okay, we have all these junior colleges in the United States. Let's start putting resources into junior colleges and offering government subsidies or free educational training. But this is the type of things I believe are going to start happening. But from an investor's point of view, they're all looking at the United States. United States is the future. It's all happening here. Not only are you having government-led intervention, which I'm still on the fence about, like an Intel, but you've also got all this private money from all these companies going.
You took the word out of my mouth.
Yeah, I mean, it's massive. The amount.
Why aren't those companies going to these junior colleges, JUCOs, going, hey, you know what? I need XYZ people, and I'm willing to put my Oracle money, my IBM money, my Facebook money into your junior college. And guess what? I want to hire them when they're done with this course. I got to teach somebody how to replace my Oculus or fix things, and we're going to get them. I mean, we did that. MIT does that, right? There's colleges that do that. Okay, with these companies. Do you see that being the next level of all of this?
Hello, is it Linda McMahon, the Department of Education, or whatever they call it today? I mean, what a great, if you're going to go along this government kind of guiding the economy, which is, everybody else in the world does, Japan, China, Europe, they all do this. Well, what a great idea, Steve. I mean, how many billions could you throw into that from the private sector? Doesn't even have to be taxpayer money. But, Steve, I know a lot of people are watching Quasar Markets today. Let's hope that we can get some of these government officials to watch, because this is cutting edge ideas.
They are. They call me. Look. I mean, what do we need to do as just private citizens calling up the government saying, look, you know what? Robotics is the future. Look, you know what? AI is the future. So let's get people invested in this. How do we get these companies to do that? And you saw the president over the weekend bring in Facebook. Mark Zuckerberg was at the White House. Tim Cook bending the knee to the White House. Crazy. I didn't expect that. Okay. You've got them, Mr. President. Now let's take them and let's make them not just invest in corporations paying for manufacturing, but let's have them investing in our education.
Steve, I think that's where we're going. It's a no-brainer, and we're not talking about hundreds of billions of dollars, although collectively,
could be
Meta and all of them, it could be. And I believe this is where it's going to go, Steve. And it's a great idea. But all of this leads the United States as the magnet of capital, and that's what I believe is going to.
But not if we kick every foreigner out of the country.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Not if we kick every foreigner out of the country.
We don't have to, no. But what we do,
you're saying that the U.S. citizens coming up, instead of going to college or going to trade school, they'd really go to robotics school or AI
community college, and perhaps the courses are free. You know, I believe the three of us, when we go out and and do our daily lives, you do meet a lot of disillusioned youth in this country. So many of them have been caught up in the early parts of our AI revolution, the technology revolution, and are hooked on Instagram and all these different things, and they begin to play these fairy tale type of lifestyles that are not real. When you begin to offer them something solid, such as we're talking about here, this is where I believe, Steve, you're going to see. But after all, we are politics, and when are you going to do that? Well, you got a general election next November. And clearly, these type of ideas are going to be for perhaps, watch the State of the Union in January or February, whenever they hold it. And that's where you're going to start seeing this and the movement. Right now, the foundation is being poured, if we want to use a constructive term. Once you have a foundation, then you can begin to build up. And clearly, the foundation is being laid just by all the money that's being, I know Howard likes to say, show me where it's being spent, show me the money coming back into the U.S.
Right.
And he's absolutely right. But it has been in these agreements, people are pledging money. So I think, the fact that these guys are coming to the White House, they're all seeing it. They're reading the tea leaves and they're going, you know what? All right, the guy's got an idea. He's got a game plan. People are lining up. I better be involved first. Apple missed the whole opportunity with AI initially, but they're quickly moving, and I think you'll see on this new Apple release, I think it's going to be rather groundbreaking. I think you're going to see Apple do very, very well.
Is it worth it that everybody that didn't buy the 16 will go buy the 17?
Because we're waiting. Steve and I, my wife, we're on.
Even I'm thinking about leaving Samsung for Apple, right?
I want a new phone. I need a new phone. My wife's bitching at me.
Okay, I'll roll back again. So, I jumped into this whole revolution of technology when I first started in the market, 1979. I was in my company's first automated operations center. And they said, hey, you put on your resume you knew about computers. So,
you could spell computers at the time.
So I've always been at the forefront of technology. And the one thing I always did, kind of to force myself, I bought a new iPhone every single year. And so I will be in line for the new one and figure out what the new technology that they're laying the base for. I think it's going to be a great product just from the way I've been in my past. It may have a little bit of this and a little bit of that, but when you constantly stay at the forefront of technology, it just drives you on a daily use basis of what's going on in the world.
But you also skipped one. Is that correct? You skipped the last iPhone iteration?
Nope. I still have it.
It was me and you. So I have two things that I would say there. Are they really at the forefront of innovation? Because I'm an iPhone guy, but people who I trust that are like CTOs and these technology guys, they're Samsung people. They're not. They've moved off of the iPhone. So I do wonder. I mean, I love it. And then the other part is it always seems like the promise of next year. And what I've already been reading about is as good as this might be this year, next year, the curved screen, and next year, the this. Can you give me this year finally?
Yeah, and again, Apple is playing catch up, no doubt about it. And when I looked at my son over the weekend and his Samsung, I was like, wow, that's pretty nice.
Yeah, the Fold, that G7 Fold is, man, it's nice. I'm with you. They got to show me something tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, I saw my son's G7 Fold, and it didn't last more than a month because it broke.
Did it? Okay, that's good to know. That's what I've been asking. I haven't found anybody who's had that problem. I'm worried about the hinge myself as a guy who broke many a flip phone over the years,
Right.
and stuff like that. So I do wonder. We'll see. Steve, what are we watching this week?
So this week it's obviously the inflation, but on Thursday, but you've got the French no confidence vote right here. So why is that so important? Because we have a Japan prime minister just resigned. And we have Europe in significant issues. We have the UK with a major budget problem. Another minister stepped aside, I believe, over the weekend. So you've got this growing. You've got Marie Le Pen appealing her case that she can't run for president. You've got, look in Germany, look at the numbers. The numbers are not that good, you know, as much as people want to talk about Europe rebounding and putting all that money into defense. You've got, I mean, a side article that I read over the weekend was the opposition party in Germany, who they are attempting to outlaw the alternative for Germany, AfD. You know, how many people have died before this election that's being held? And, you know, that brings in a lot of problems. I mean, it's not just one or two people. I believe it's like 6 or more. So there's a lot of questions in Europe. On top of, you have the Dutch pension fund that is now mandated to redo, and I believe they are one of the largest holders of debt in Europe. And again, when you talk debt in Europe, what is debt in Europe? You have a U.S. bond market, but you have a German bond market, you have a French bond market, you have an Italian, a Greek. So there's a lot of, you know, potential troubles in Europe that are beginning to reverberate. So what I'm looking at, French no confidence vote today, because it could spill and begin to snowball a developing problem within Europe. I've always said the problem in Europe, you want to jump into the euro, that's great. But if you look at it from a medium to a long-term point of view, there is a structural inefficiency within Europe. There is no lender of last resort. Right. Just look at what happened in Greece. Every bondholder had to take a massive 50% haircut. So I'm watching carefully those type of things. And I think that this is an incredibly important week, which seems that each week becomes more important. Right. But I am looking this week as an incredibly important week because the following week we get the Fed stepping in.
Absolutely. Do you have a zone? I mean, do you see us coming back to challenge that 97.15 area?
Well, you know, Howard, I think the dollar has to hold here. If we break 97.11, the entire premise of my chart pattern and technical analysis would be out the window. And I think that reverberates. If I look at the Mex peso, right now we're around 1864. You know, we're below last week. In the dollar, we're below most of all last week's closes. So, you know, in the dollar Mex, which is a 7.5% currency right now, so it attracts a yield play. If we get below 1850, that to me is going to start, you know, setting off the early alarm bells in the idea money moves first. I'm watching the Mex peso. If we take out 1850, that entire chart pattern begins to break and opens up a downside play, which will have an effect in the dollar index. The dollar index breaks 97.10. That's going to take out the most recent low, because we have a series of higher lows over the last few months. And that's why I'm bullish on the dollar, and I'm using opportunities like this where I want to get back into the dollar. However, my risk management comes in and is right now flashing yellow. So I will be very keen to act on the levels if we begin to break. So 97.10 is a major break of the chart pattern. I would be out of all my dollar risk at that point. Right now, I'm playing today's low around this 50 level, 97.5 as a bounce back. But I am concerned. So I want to say that, because if the dollar breaks, then the whole premise of the U.S. attracting all this money begins to question. And I think the reason that we're seeing the dollar sell off is because there's a growing camp that's saying the U.S. is going to cut 0.5%, which would go from 4.5 to 4, which would still be the highest in the world with the Bank of England, which will no doubt cut again on their next meeting.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Mr. Flanagan, like always, for all your insights. Amazing. Have a good day today, and we will see you again on Wednesday for Quasar Markets Live. We'll be back at it tomorrow morning. Big Beats in all week, so he'll be bringing you those trades. Everybody, have a fantastic day.